on Extreme 104.3 FM.
Today marks the end of the first week of the first term of a brand new year within the school term. School. Yes, man. Good morning to all the students, parents, teachers. Hello, teachers. Hello. Nothing but love. Nothing but love. Good morning to the principals, the Ministry of Education, and so on and so forth. All the policymakers, good morning to you. Hope you had a good first week. All parties that are involved, all parties that play an integral part of educating our children for the future. Good morning to you. For those who didn't have such a good week, hopefully next week we'll look up to something better than what we would have experienced this week. All right? Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. So right, we were speaking before on how unfortunate it is that the US, Canada, UK have all said, even though in terms of quality, in terms of protection, when was the last time you heard an issue concerning the Sputnik V vaccine? Never. The only problem that Sputnik had was the fact that when it came to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, everybody assumed that the doses that we got were both first and second doses. The only problem that we've had with Sputnik so far, and that I've heard, was the fact that when it was time to get your second dose, it was not available. So there was a bit of a global shortage on Sputnik V at some point, but that has been cleared. We don't have that problem anymore. When AstraZeneca came out, there was an issue of there being talks about the blood clot, and then that cleared itself up. Some persons believe, including doctors, and have told patients in terms of recommendation, when the patients ask, "Doc, which vaccine should I take?" Some doctors say, take the Sputnik. Because in their opinion, based on what they've read, I mean, they're in the know. They say that the Sputnik was the best one. Of all that are available in SPG. AstraZeneca, Sputnik, Pfizer. In terms of Pfizer, which is based in the US, even after you've taken the 2 shots, they told us that it's advised that you take a booster shot. Even if you've taken Sputnik or AstraZeneca, the advice is that you can take a booster shot, and you should. Sometimes I sit and I wonder if for some of these countries, if the reason Russia has not been, or the Russian vaccine has not been put on the WHO's list of approved emergency use vaccines, politics and economics. How come it's taking so long? I see here it says, coming from Reuters, that Russia sees no hurdles for WHO approval of Sputnik V vaccine. This was released October 2nd. All the barriers to register Russia's Sputnik V COVID-19 vaccine with the World Health Organization, WHO, have been cleared. So all of the things that they said that were keeping the Russian vaccine from being approved for the longest while, according to the Russian health minister, last week Saturday, they said all of those things have been cleared. It says the Sputnik V shot, widely used in Russia and approved for use in over 70 countries, is undergoing review by the WHO and the European Medicines Agency. The approval could open up a new market for the shot, especially in Europe. So all the time, you see how it's funny? You see how it's really funny? So while countries are waiting, or people are waiting rather, for Sputnik V to be approved, whenever that happens, what we expect is that countries like the US, UK, and Canada would add Sputnik V to the list of approved vaccines, which means that person who would have taken Sputnik V could either travel to those countries or not have to go through the quarantine and the testing and not have to face the challenges of the unvaccinated traveler. I hope that happens. Yes, there is a process, but I hope that happens. Whenever Sputnik is made, or whenever Sputnik is put on the list, we'll see what happens. If it's an automatic addition to the rest of the world, or if they're going to find another hurdle, or if there is going to be another hurdle to keep, let me not say it like that, or if there is going to be another hurdle that prevents Sputnik V from being added to the list of approved vaccines by the US, Canada, and the UK. Now here's something else about it. While we wait for that vaccine to be added, and the fact that people want to travel right now, some people have to travel, they're left with no choice but to take the Pfizer or AstraZeneca, which means that all this time, the makers of Sputnik, they're actually not making as much money as the makers of Sputnik and AstraZeneca. You see why some people are thinking that there's some sort of politics and economics playing here with all of these things? When at the end of the day, is people's health supposed to be at the forefront? Somebody said here on the WhatsApp, let me get it for you. The US is not going to promote Russian interests. And that is so true. Good morning to Kenny in New York. Good morning, Made. Good morning, Made. Somebody telling me something there about ivermectin. Leave me on that alone, eh? Leave me on that alone. They don't say ivermectin, don't use it. Leave me on that alone. But put politics aside. It's really sad that at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is to save people's lives. And at the end of the day, in consideration for choosing a vaccine to put into your system, at the end of the day, I think it's really sad that we have to make our choices based on which countries are accepting which vaccines and which countries we might want to go to. And the fact that we don't want to have to spend quarantine or not be allowed to enter certain countries. It is sad that that has to be a consideration in choosing which vaccine to take. And I know that there are some people who are in the limbo right now. And I have even been asked, in your estimation, which vaccine should I take? And it's really sad that your response should be based on whether or not you want to travel. In the very beginning, the conversation was along the lines of, should you get vaccinated or not in terms of travel? But now it's which vaccine to take in terms of travel. At the end of the day, shouldn't it be the person's health? If I take Sputnik or the Cuban vaccine or Pfizer or AstraZeneca, they all do the same thing at the end of the day. All do the same thing. At the end of the day, shouldn't it matter that I am protected? Not 100%. It's the same thing. So I am less likely to become a burden in another man's country if I get severely ill, if I contract COVID-19 there. But the consideration is, which vaccine did you take in the height of a pandemic? To me, that is sad. I know plenty of the anti-vaxxers gonna take that and run with it. Take that and run with it. But you know, the good thing is though, that people are asking and people are considering and people are asking the right questions. Maybe the time has passed for persons to really sit down and think about how they can further protect themselves. You know my stance on the vaccine, the shot, the jab, whatever gives me a better fighting chance. I might be really nervous about it. I may or may not like needles. Actually, there's one needle. That's right. Sorry. Jesus. I forgot what it was for a moment there. I may or may not like those metal needles at the doctor's office or the clinic, all right? I may be really nervous and apprehensive about doing certain things, but at the end of the day, if it gives me a better fighting chance, then so be it. Somebody says the only problem is that it's not recognized because of politics. Sad. Somebody asked me again, how are you talking about vaccine? You're looking for Ann Pichek? Listen, you better learn your lesson well. Do not go live when you are upset. Lessons to be learned from Sunday's Live. Can't man beg up yourself this morning here. Watch your time in this place here. Thank you very much. Ultimate. English class, the boy. Tonks. Here's another response, and you can send your response. How you feel about Sputnik V not being on the US list, Canada's list, the UK's list of approved vaccines? We've been told that as of Monday in the UK, because they were not accepting one of the AstraZeneca, the Oxford AstraZeneca, but that has changed. So that is good news. So all those who have to go to the UK to perform, bye-bye. Have a good flight. Enjoy yourself for all of us who can't go up there, or who can go but who would have to spend the 10 days in quarantine, like those of us who would have taken Sputnik. As a matter of fact, if anybody traveling, anybody have money for travel these days? Money not stir. Well, not a lot of money stirring, you know what I'm saying? You understand? Very few people might be traveling at this time. Might be really apprehensive about traveling at this time. All right? Somebody says Pfizer. That's it. I don't know what they mean by that. Maybe when they're asking which vaccine should you take out of the 3 that are available here, Pfizer. All right? Somebody says here, so this means you have to take another one. What is going on in the world? Something not right. Yeah. So if you want to avoid the quarantine or the travel to these specified countries, crazier, when the goal is to just protect yourself, to save your life, to end the pandemic, look like some people's goal is just to make money. Governments worldwide appear to be more concerned about economic health of their respective nations, more so than the health of the people. Kente says, good morning, AstraZeneca, thumbs up. Here's another thing to consider too, right? So there are so many things that would divide people. Because I think essentially a lot of people are just divisive. They're just looking for things to feel better than other people. looking for things to distinguish themselves from other people. So we've had to deal with religious divides. We've had to deal with physical divides. We've had to deal with division based on the color of our skin. Racism. We've had to deal, or we have to deal, with divisions based on where you are born, which country you are from, which football team you support. We deal with divides based on the class that we are in, whether we are not so much in a good economic standard versus having an abundance of money. We deal with divides based on which school we attend, elite schools versus non-elite schools. We deal with divides in politics, whether you support, keeping it home, the NDP or the ULP or the Green Party or UPP. Although there ain't so many people on the UP side, but we deal with many divides. We deal with divides based on where you live. Sometimes you hear the argument town versus country. We deal with divides with where you work, which company you work for. And then in 2020, 2021, the divide was whether or not you choose to be vaccinated or are vaccinated versus the unvaccinated. And then within that, a further divide within the vaccinated set, whether you take Sputnik, Pfizer, or AstraZeneca. Instead of working towards bringing people together, each and every single day, something new to drive us apart. We all human beings, we're living on the same earth, we're all breathing in the same oxygen and occupying the same space. At the end of the day. Now, can I use ultimately there? We're all human beings and we all want to survive. But too many divides, man. Too many divides. At a time where we are supposed to be bringing people together, during a pandemic, where people need support from the neighbor and everybody else, something else to draw a line between X and Y. Tomorrow is going to be something else. Yesterday was the vaccine. Today is which vaccine? Tomorrow is something else. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. All this time we were live on Facebook, by the way. Let me throw out some more responses. But Crystal, I know medical personnel who take Sputnik V because it's the best. However, the same person had to take Pfizer because of traveling purpose. Hashtag 2 vaccine, 2 mask, 2 vaccine. Double up everything. Including, boy, before I get in trouble this morning, here. Good morning, G. Jay says, good morning, Crystal. It's world politics. It's a money-making thing. NH says, I have him cracking up. Okay, egg. Blessed morning to you, my dear. You sound like a sociologist this morning. Wow, great analysis of the divides. This is the only reason I don't like maths, the divides. I like the little X there, the multiplier, right? Especially when it comes to salary. Salary X 1.5, salary X 2. You understand? When you get money in, you exit. When you get money out, you minus. Minus from the money that I pay. Unless you back, you can't minus there, otherwise you get some bill if after you. Anyways, I'm gonna end the live on Facebook right now. What? Not X and Y, Crystal. It's X and Cano 1 or two. How about that? Sorry.